Now, where is that? Oh, there you are, Mr. Foxy! Hey, boy! What are you doing up here in the serious couch area? What? Is it nice and comfy for you? Oh, you little stinker. I know you love this couch, don't you? But you know what? This is more for the serious stuff. You know, this is for like people that, have depression and other things that just need a comfy space. But you never have depression. You're always so happy. As long as you got chimkin treats and pets and yours truly. Yeah, you're always so cute. I love you, Mr. Foxy. Never change. Wait a second. Hey! Good to see you all again. Hello everyone, it's Dr. Detroit here. The doctor is in. And as you can see, Mr. Foxy has found a very important place here in my house. Here, let's move the camera over here because I want to show you guys this. Whoops, hello. There we go. So this right here is my serious couch. It's been called the serious couch because I have taken care of a lot of cases on this couch. I have interviewed different people on this couch, and also this was where I confessed to you, or confessed to you guys about the reason why my mental health was so messed up back then. But you know what? There's something that came into my mind. Here, come a little closer and let me tell you a bit about this. Hi. Excuse me. 2 seconds over here. Some of the footage that my big brother filmed did not render properly. So right now, this would be when he'd say in a little segment that he likes to call, and then he would do that and roll the intro. Well, that part and also the next part of this got corrupt. So I'm staying in for him. I already told him about what's going on, but he's going to do a whole episode on depression in a little segment that my big bro calls Myth-Busting, the Case of Depression. Simple title, isn't it? Roll the intro. Now the intro's out of the way, my big brother is about to tell you all the different myths that go with depression. Now, the sad part though is that well, he has depression, and so does our voice actor. Me, I have a little bit of depression in me. However though, I've been able to control it over the course of my life. Have you been able to do the same thing too? Yeah, some of you have, and others need a little bit of help. So now everybody, let's teleport you all to the red board, where my big brother Vrchat101 is going to educate you on depression. So, let's all head to the red board, right about now. There we go, in front of the red board. And of course, Mr. Foxy has taken the position over here, as he usually does. And he also got me all of my pens that we are going to need. And he also is his favorite ball. Hold on a second there. It looks like you're a little bit crooked. That's a bit better. Actually, wait, let's just put you right there. Okay, right there. You good, buddy? Good. Okay, so here on the red board, as you can see, I already have one myth that we're going to be looking at. And as we come up with a few more myths, I'll start writing them down here, and we'll either put down, in other words, either real, or that should not be a W. That should be something else. Let's fix that momentarily. Let me grab my white pen, white for white chocolate. So it should be right. Oh, wait. Yeah, there it is. W meant for wrong. I don't know what's going on with my brain today. Anywho. So, let's start off with the easiest myth that, a lot of people should know this by now, saying depression is fake. Well, guess what? Depression, I can get my green pen here, green for guacamole. Depression is real. So, right here, as you can see, depression being fake, wrong. Depression is real. The weird thing about depression is that it can happen to just about anybody in any type of age range. Now, usually depression starts at a very young age, depending on what's going on. Some of the things that can actually cause depression, and this is going to be very important down the road, is that sometimes it could be a traumatic event that took place during your childhood. It could be a big change, from moving to a state that you didn't understand why you had to move to, or in some cases, a breakup. Maybe you broke up with your best friend, maybe you broke up with a lover, whether it be your boyfriend or girlfriend or, somebody. But depression usually comes in during our transition through the ages. Because see, here's the thing. Let's go ahead and erase all this right here. That's for future me to do. And let's think of it this way. From 0 to 10 years old, I call that the happy phase. Because you're a little kid. It's time to have some fun. Go outside, ride a bike, learn, watch Sesame Street or something like that. Eat your favorite meal, get on that sugar high. Because you know what? Let kids be kids. Then we have the 11 to 13-year-old age bracket, and this is where things begin to change. Because now you've hit the double digits, and now you're getting closer to becoming a teenager. Things start to change. Your taste in shows begin to change. And the other thing too is that now high school and other things are staring you in the face. Then you get to about 13 to 17, where you're still considered a minor. And by the way too, folks, 13 years of age or older is the age requirement to come here to Vrchat. Not 11 or 12, not 0 to 10, so please, 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 whoever is giving birth to all these Fazbear kids that come into Vrchat, close your legs. Thank you. Anyway, back to business. 13 to 17. This is where you're in the high school phase, and this is where things kind of happen, because sometimes you might experience your first bit of love, your first breakup, or maybe this is when, you start to really feel like you can't be one of the popular kids. Then of course, 18 years of age or older, sometimes depression hits there because now you have to really hunker down. You gotta hunker down and get ready to make payments and pay bills and everything else. And usually, that's when depression hits. Depression hits, and unfortunately, it can absolutely, screw you over. But the fact is that anybody that says that depression is fake is 100% wrong. Alright, let's go to the next myth. And this one's going to be an interesting one. Okay, so let's go ahead and do this. And you know what? I'm actually going to go ahead and do this. I'm going to keep the word depression here, but I'm going to write. So depression is, and this is an interesting one, a sign of weakness. I can just get this right here. There we go. Weak. N-E-S-S. Okay. So, some people think that having depression is a sign of weakness. And guess what, everybody? Depression is not a weakness. You see, here's the thing. So many people on VRChat, they tend to hide their emotions. Now, sometimes we do have to hide our emotions. Like, you know what? Here's a perfect example. Let's say that you had a very stressful day at work, or maybe that bill came in and it wiped you out, financially. So now you gotta come on here to VRChat, with your buddies, and they're all like, hey, look, it's our friend, hey, come on over, hey, how you doing? And then you come over, like, really sad sounding, and it's like, you're going, hey guys. And then after that, you're just simply quiet for the rest of the evening. There you go. That's depression. But the thing is, though, is that it does not mean that you are weak. It's okay to show emotions here in VRChat. Because you know what? I've shown my emotions here. I have cried. I have shown you, anger. I've also, done a lot of different things. But the thing is that I do this to showcase to you guys that you don't always have to be, happy here in VRChat 24/7. You can let go. You can let go of your feelings in front of your friends. Now, yes, a couple of those friends are probably going to bugger off. We talked about this in my Wish You Were Here episode, where the second that you start talking about your stuff, they end up despawning. Why in God's green earth did that happen? Oh. All I said was that your friends would despawn. I said that once you start talking about feelings to some of your friends might they might leave the world that you're in. And then they just don't want to hear about what you have to do. Because some people think that that is a weakness. Showing signs of depression is not a weakness at all. In fact, you might even find some other people on here who have a very, very similar outlook to depression that you have. Anyway, let's go to the next one. I'm gonna go ahead and write a couple more boxes here. Let's go ahead and do one more myth, and then we're gonna have a little fun here. Let's see. Oh, here we go. Now this one, I definitely want to see what you guys think of this. Depression, you can always, and I love this word because people seem to love it a lot. Go ahead and do this. Now, some people think, oh, really? You're sad? Well, guess what? You can snap out of it. Depression is like that. Just snap out of it, you idiot. And guess what? They are wrong again, but also they're right as well. So here, it's plausible. But here's the thing. You can't necessarily snap out of it, or I should say snap out of it. Because snapping out of it, we can snap out of being angry, or sometimes we have that brain fart that just kind of screws us up or anything like that. But the thing about snapping out of it is that most depressive cases, you can't just snap out of it. Some of them, you can. But it all depends really on what the situation is. So again, let's say that you're having some problems financially, Or maybe you're having an issue at home where it's like, you know, something bad's going on in the family. Or maybe there's something going on at work that, you know, deeply, deeply hurts you. The thing about it is that all of us have a soul, and all of us have something that's called an inner child. The inner child is what we were back in the day when we were just simply kids. And that inner child needs to play. It needs to come out. You know, it needs to play. It needs to eat its favorite snack. It needs to watch its favorite show. But sometimes that inner child is buried really, really deep inside of you here. I mean, it's probably buried underneath my floof, as you can see here. But the thing is that every now and then we have to take our inner child out and take it for a walk, play with it, feed it, you know, watch your favorite series with it. But the thing is, though, is that depressive states can take a long time to get out of. It could take hours, could take days, could even take months for that matter. However, again, it all depends on the amount of pain that you're feeling, but also the situation that it is. Like, if it's something really bad, like, let me back up a little bit here so we get a little more space, thank you. Let's say it's something, well, alright, let's make up an example. I know some of you who have followed me for a very long time, you guys have actually told me about, you know, your problems and other sorts of things that have been going on at home. Now, I'm going to keep these people anonymous. In fact, we're going to go ahead and give them names to protect the innocent. A friend of mine who goes by the name of Jacob, he's having a rough time at home because no matter what he does, if he does something great that helps out around the house, like, you know, does the dishes, take out the trash, or, you know, vacuum the carpets, he knows he did a good job. But when his parents come home, they berate him, and they ask, you know, oh, why aren't you making more money? Why aren't you out there at a job? Why aren't you doing this? Why aren't you doing that? And they're verbally abusing him. So now Jacob over here is in a depressive state because no matter what he does, he can't seem to get the approval of his parents. Well, let's also use another example. I have another friend, and this friend is an interesting one. In fact, you know what? Let's give him a nickname too. Let's call him Dumbass. Childhood nickname. So, Dumbass, he goes to work, he does everything that he's supposed to do, and what he does is that he makes his money, but the problem is, though, is that his bills are really high. But the other problem too is that, you know, due to some poor financial issues and things like that, sometimes he barely sees that money. And so Dumbass ends up with depression. And sometimes it can be amplified. Because you know what? In this day and age, if you got a lot of money on you, you're going to be okay. But the thing that I can also tell you, folks, is this. Jacob and Dumbass both are in those same situations. Or how about somebody who has gone through a lot of physical abuse? Let's say that my friend, oh, here we go. I have a friend who goes by the name of Cheesy Doo. Cheesy Doo is doing something very similar to what Jacob and Dumbass do. However, Cheesy Doo gets physically abused by his family. And I don't mean like anything sexual or anything like that. I'm talking about those times where like you literally get a slap on the wrist, or you get smacked in the face, or smacked in the shoulder with an object. You know, it'd be almost like as if, let me actually grab this over here really quickly. It'd be almost like as if I take this dice, and I smack it against my body right now. And as you can tell, it kind of hurts. Now, it's funny on me because, I guess us Nardos sound like squeak toys, but to the main people out there, your bodies are not going to sound like squeak toys anytime you get hit. But the thing is that a lot of people get physically abused because that was probably how their parents were brought up. Or maybe that's just how they were. Do you guys know anybody who actually has been physically abused in your family? Maybe it could be you. Maybe it could be a friend of yours. Or something. So, Cheesy Doo, Dumbass, and Jacob, they're all in different ways, and they all are connected through depression and everything. You know what? I wonder what would happen if I rolled this die. It's a d20, so why not? There it goes. Ooh, a 9. Cool. Hey, don't believe me? Check this out. See it landed on top of the 9 right there. And there's also a 6 nearby it, so it actually rolled a 9. Now, truth be told, if I can get the camera back into its original space, there we go. Now, let me go ahead and just toss this die out of the way. Now, truth be told, folks, I don't play Dungeons & Dragons. But I do follow a lot of those pages that are like, you know, roll for sandwich, roll for salad, roll for a lot of things. And maybe one day I might do a roll for VR chat. Or that could get really, really, really weird in a heartbeat. Now, for this second and final part of this video, I want to talk a little bit about how to tell people that you have depression without, you know, making it awkward. And believe it or not, this was actually the original title of this video. But here's a few things to keep in mind. First things first is that when you tell your friends that you have depression, you need to tell them kind of right off the bat, or after you've had a chance to marinate in the juices. Because you can be diagnosed with, you know, depression by a doctor. Sometimes it might not even be depression that you have. But here's what you want to do. If you get diagnosed, make sure that you wait. You wait to tell your friends right away. This way, it allows for you to kind of soak in everything, but also start to try and feel more comfortable with the diagnosis. Another thing that you want to do, set your boundaries immediately with new friends. Because when you have depression, even if it's something like, you know, major depressive disorder, which by the way too, major depressive disorder is actually a real thing, but it amplifies depression by 10. Or, you know what, a few friends of mine said add a couple of zeros, it actually amplifies it by about 1,000. I mean, you know, to each their own. Anywho. So, what were we talking about? Oh, yes. So when you set your boundaries for people who, you know, hear for the first time that you have depression, you want to see kind of like what kind of like triggers your depression. Now, in some cases, it's probably cool stuff. It's probably stuff where it's like your intentions are good, but unfortunately, it's brought a lot of bad memories to that person with depression. So sometimes you have to kind of like take a chance and see what happens, because if they don't bring it up first, then sometimes you may have to find out the hard way. And that's how you lose a lot of friendships. That's also how everything gets altered. And believe me, if this person is very much, you know, one of those popular furs, or like is very sensitive to a lot of things, you could find yourself with your ass kicked out on the virtual street. And you do not want that to happen. The next thing too, and this is the most important thing, in fact, I'm hoping a certain individual is watching this right now, never push away your best friends. Believe it or not, when all else fails, and if our family can't understand, then you know what? Your friends will be able to understand. Whether it be your IRL friends or your virtual friends, your online friends, the ones you make on, like, you know, PlayStation, Xbox, Nintendo. Well, okay, screw Nintendo. Discord, Steam, you know, all these other places. Heck, even in Minecraft too. When you are feeling sad, when you feel depressed, your friends are always going to be there, especially your true blue friends. I can tell you folks right now that I've been there for quite a few of my friends who have had depression, and so has my little brother Arlo. In fact, okay, true story. My little brother Arlo, he is very fierce on the racetrack. As soon as that helmet goes on, he is very fierce. He changes. He changes into this speed demon that, you know, is just amazing. I mean, it's no wonder they call him the master of going faster. But off the track, once that helmet comes off, his heart turns into a teddy bear. He has a very big heart. He's also very emotion driven, and he just likes to have fun. He likes to have fun. I mean, here's the thing. He and I are young adults, but he's got the little brother energy. And it shows quite a lot. I mean, you guys saw it when he subbed for me when we did the backup plan episode, which that was really cool. Thanks little bro. But again, don't push away your closest allies. Because you know what? Your closest allies / friends / acquaintances, they'll be able to help. They'll be able to help you. And last but not least, you also want to get into a quiet world. Now, here's something that is extremely important. Don't go to a fully dark world, because here's why. See, our minds right here, they can play some extremely bad tricks on us, and so can our heart. Our soul can make us think, because here's the thing. Your head and your heart, they work in unison, okay? The brain can't work if the heart's not pumping. And also, the heart can't work if there's no brain activity. Well, okay. If you do have some brain activity in there, more power to you. Of course, I know some people who don't have brain activity. However, their names are going to remain nameless, but they know who they are. But still, go to a well-lit place. Now, it doesn't have to be flashy, it doesn't have to be anything. In fact, you know what? Okay, I got an idea. Let me go ahead and, like, you know, put a camera somewhere. Give me one quick second, everybody. So now I've moved the camera, and we are currently right here on my little balcony area that connects the video player room, or my little living room area, back here to the breadboard area. And as you can see, I have quite a few plants right here. I have these beautiful looking plants that are so cool. And when the rain hits them, oh my god, they make some really, really, really cool sounds. This is also a really cool place to take people who have depression, because you know what? The sound is just so beautiful. Here, let me pull out a frame really quickly, and I want you guys to listen just to a little bit of what you hear. Right now, you're hearing the waves outside crashing against the little docking area that I have at my place. See what I mean? It's very nice and very comforting, isn't it? Going to worlds that have sounds like this in the background can really help, because sometimes we just need a quiet world where there's no music playing or anything like that. We just hear the soft sounds of, like, nature at its best. And you know what? There's plenty of places like that too. Now, this is going to do it for this episode of Vrchat 101. I hope you guys now know a little bit more about, the odds and ends of depression. I know that we've kind of only scratched the surface, but you know what? This actually opens it up for a sequel down the road. Because, to be quite honest, at the time of filming this, it has been very hectic around here, so I only had enough notes to do this kind of episode. But if you guys want to see that sequel, if you guys want to see more of this, then make sure you hit the like button, don't forget to comment down below, but also subscribe. I'll see you folks next time. Until then, take care. However, I'll leave you with about, let's say about 3 minutes of this beautiful sound. Who knows? Maybe it'll reset your algorithm, but maybe it'll also help cure your depression a little bit. So, happy listening, and until then, take care, my friend.